what it is. And then the teen, oh, the teen stuff. It's, they get that it is permanent. The death loss, they'll kind of lean into the injustice. They fear for their own safety, or especially the safety of the surviving caregiver. So
Yeah.
they're waiting for that other shoe to drop. They understand, the world is not a safe place. People can die. People can just disappear without warning. So, when's that going to happen to my next person? So they're really kind of focused on either they want to know where everybody is at all times, or when you don't answer their text right away, or they get. And then this is for young adults too. Will struggle with this. I've heard them say, a college football player will say, when my mom doesn't answer my text right away, I immediately think, she's dead. Something's happened to her. So that's kind of a common teen and young adult behavior. It's also kind of coincides with the teen existential crisis. What's the point of any of this? We all die. Well, so as a caregiver, like being on the other end of these conversations, like, what do you say? You can't argue with them. So I think a lot of it is, or they want to blame.
Yeah.
I recently was watching an episode of the Crown series that looks at the British royal family, and in the last season they look at the death of Princess Diana, and the episode after that is one of the better depictions of complicated teen grief that I've actually ever seen on screen, because there's so many reactions. And it is a case where the caregiver is trying to reach out, is rebuffed by the teen. They don't, and this is normal. I've seen a brother and a sister, loss of same person. It's like, so everything, is sort of the same in that context. These two teens, one is like posting the emotive, sad songs on Instagram, and, we'll talk about it a lot, like, wants support, repeatedly going over the details. The other teen is like, you just on the surface would look like nothing's ever happened. Everything is fine, and again, this is the same feeling, the same loss. So that's the other frustrating thing. I think grief would be so much easier if we had just the full checklist of, these are the 5 things that are going to happen, and then these are the 5 things you can do to fix those. And unfortunately, no. Like all or different things could be happening, and then your support strategies. So I guess the best thing I would say in that context is making yourself available just to listen. Teens, I think as humans, we try to connect. There was a great scene actually in that episode of The Crown where, the caregiver says, I'm grieving too. And the kid's like, I don't care, which again, it's not because you're talking to a bad kid. It's not because the caregiver is not, like, everything is legitimately happening, it's just there are kind of these missed points of connection. So I think just the availability to listen, and kind of limit the personal sharing on the part of the adult, even though, again, this is where I run afoul of this. Like, I want to share all this stuff, or here's what's helped me, here's what you should do, And again, the teens, they do not, want to hear any of it. So I think in that situation, the listening, and then just saying, like, have you found anything that's helped you, when you've had other tough times, like help them kind of problem solve, when you've been sad before, when something different happened, like, did you find something that made you feel a little better? Was it listening to music? Was it taking a run? Was it, just some practical things? And maybe they'll latch on to one of those. But again, I think a lot of times they just need to vent their feelings and the injustice of what's happened without, the adult trying to rationalize it or say, but your life can still be good, or, but we still have people who love us. Again, crap I also fell into and still do, I want to tell them like it's but there's so much good. It's all going to be all right. And yes, that is the case. But like if that's not kind of what they need to
Not what they want to
hear,
hear.